This is Heavy Conversation with Bruce and Jody, a podcast where we talk about being a big guy in today's world. I'm Bruce. And I'm Jody. Here we go.
Here we go.
All right, here we go. All right, here we go.
What's up, Bruce?
Hey, Jody. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm looking in this Zoom video and I'm noticing I feel like my beard is just getting lighter and lighter. It's like it's not summer sunlight light. It's like old man gray.
Okay.
light.
I wasn't sure what that was. I was like, is that gray or?
Yeah. I think it is. It's really like they're right under my chin where it's doing that.
My spot's a little to the right of my chin.
Yeah. There's another one. Yeah, right over here on the side. It's
if I keep it shorter, you can't notice it as much, but when it grows out, you can really see it.
Yeah. It's one of those things. One of those things with aging.
Yeah, it's been a rough couple of years.
It has, and I've also decided to go for a mustache, which is not something that we've talked about.
I
this
literally
in the past.
was like, did he trim his mustache or did he not have a mustache? And
I did. Okay. I did not. Yes.
I was like, why? It's really short. What's going on? I don't remember.
So my facial hair history for Bruce, when I originally started for many years, I just had like a goatee. I had a huge, bushy, long goatee. And then, I don't know, probably 10 years ago, I decided to go full beard. And I went for the mustache and realized that I didn't have the patience to wait that out, and that I felt like my wiry mustache looked more like an 8th grader trying to grow a mustache. So I went without, and I did the whaler, which is the beard with no mustache. And that has been my thing for many, many years. And recently I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to give the mustache a chance again. So I'm gonna give it a little more time. We're gonna see how it goes. It's I've done it once before where it actually took for a little while, but then I realized I can't. I just don't like it. There's something about it that just always gets me. And so
and you're trying new facial hair now that the masks are gone.
Yes, I know. So
you have to put us all through your
right
weird patchy.
I know you all get to suffer with me. So
I know
where we're at.
I literally was like, did he shave the mustache off mostly? Like, what's going on there?
Yeah. So
I could tell.
Yeah, it's a new thing. And
yes,
across Zoom, let me see here. So you can see. Yeah,
I could tell that it's like barely there.
Well, it's red. So there's also that. The mustache has not turned colors yet. So
the baby hairs.
This hair's coming out, and it's like, oh, we've never done this before. So
it'll be red for a while.
That's right. So we'll see. But it's all right. It's all right. I'm feeling it. I've been feeling the beard. I'm feeling the facial hair. I went to my barber last week and got my hair cut and had him do my beard, which I normally don't, but it was just, what happens is it gets longer on the sides than it is under the chin. And when that happens, it's time.
Yeah.
So
I always have them kind of do everything all at once, just clean it up. I can do sporadic maintenance on my beard by myself, but when I get my hair cut, I'm like, well, the beard needs to come down too, because it's all very bushy and crazy.
Yeah. So what are we talking about this week?
Well, this week I wanted to talk a little bit about budgets. I don't know how you feel about budgeting. If you have a budget. I'm not the greatest at budgeting or setting those up, but I'm trying to change my attitude and my framework around what a budget is and how to do that. Had some unexpected expenses pop up, and I'm like, where's that $2,000 going to come from? Okay, cool. I have to replace my what is it, catalytic converter, whatever the
catalytic converter.
I can never say that word. I still have it. It's still there, but it's apparently clogged and needs to be replaced or whatever. I was like, okay, cool, great. And of course the warranty's expired, all that jazz. So I'm like, well, let's start figuring out a budget. So I don't know. Do you do budgeting on a regular thing, or that's something you do, or is it just sort of like here and there?
I'm not like, I focus on, first and foremost, paying bills, taking care of all that is at the top of my priority list, which it was not always that way. It has
Mhm.
taken many years to grow up financially and start kind of getting it together.
Yeah.
And as far as budgeting, I mean, yes and no. I feel like for me, it's a lot more of a I need to make sure that I have money to cover my bills
Mhm.
and the
Mhm.
important expenses.
Yeah, the immediate like
Yeah,
rent or
right.
mortgage,
Exactly.
water, all that jazz.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And uh, if those things are taken care of, then I can kind of, look at other things and go from there. But it has taken me a long damn time
Hmm.
to get to the point where I think about things that way. And I definitely attribute that to my wife being very responsible, fiscally responsible.
Very
So,
nice.
it's rubbed off after many years. So, yeah, it's I don't think it's as far as like budgeting and really thinking about a specific budget, probably not.
Yeah. Does she do it or do you guys not really?
She does. Yeah, she does to an extent. I mean,
Okay.
it's a lot of like, okay, we need to pay this bill. Let's pay it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
really I find that the way that I think about money has changed a lot over the years, where
Hmm.
I was really a lot more like, when I have money, I need to keep it and hold on to it. And when I do spend it, I'm going to spend it on things that I love and not bills, and which is
Yep.
irresponsible. And,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
and
Well, I'm
so I
I'm
did,
I'm still kind of in that stage. I know I'm like I pay my, try to get the rent, all that stuff done, but it's like, but I want this or I want to.
sure.
Lately, it's been like, oh, I want to save up for a trip. I'm like, I
Ooh,
just want to
yeah.
go somewhere and get
Hmm.
out of here. Not
Right.
so much like a thing. Like I don't need things necessarily, but like
Sure.
I want to go hang out with my
Experiences.
friends. I want to go
Right.
do stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the way that I look at money has really changed, where it's a lot less about like, it's more like this money is a means to an end. Like, you don't have this money, you don't own it or need to hoard it. It is for paying your bills and continuing to live
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
to be, however comfortable we are, basically to not to be stressing about not having money because you spend it on something else that didn't need to be spent on. So,
Mm-hmm.
kind of changing that mindset and also focusing on paying things off has been a
Yeah.
big thing for years, really just kind of getting things together and paying off the cars that we have. We got
Mm-hmm.
one more
Paying off
payment
credit
we're
card
about to.
bills. Yeah.
Right, all those things, just taking care of those things and being smarter about that stuff, because once it's taken care of, then you do have more money that you can play around with.
Right. Because you're not paying all that extra interest and
Exactly.
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I've been not so great. I don't like balance my checkbook. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. I'm just like, oh, how much money do I have in there? Oh, okay, I can
Mhm.
still do this or X and Y or whatever. Forgetting sometimes that, oh, there's still a bill that's going to come out on, later in the month or middle of the month or whatever. So I'm
Right.
not always great about it. I started filling out all this stuff for the budget and I found out that I've been paying for Planet Fitness for the past 3 years
Oh.
every month during the pandemic, which I thought I had canceled.
Ooh.
So I've been paying whatever 20 bucks a month for however many months.
Have
I'm like,
you
oh, that's
have
great.
you ever used one of those systems that will like look at, they say, well, take a look at your bank account and tell you what you're paying, what your recurring monthly bills are, so
I
you can
looked at one of
find.
those just to see, but yeah, I canceled a bunch of things,
Nice, nice.
lots of recurring apps that I'm like, oh, whoops, I'm paying for that still. Oh,
Totally.
some stupid thing that I downloaded. I was like, oh yeah, I'll try that, and then forgot about that. So went
They
through
add
and
up.
oh yeah, well yeah, when there's a bunch of them, you're like,
Hmm.
oh, and then like, how many streaming services do I really need?
I can answer that for you, and the answer is all of them.
Well, I had
Yes.
all of them. That was
Oh,
the
I
problem.
see. I see. Yes.
I'm like, well, I haven't watched Apple TV in probably a year.
Mm,
Let's just take that one away.
right. Right.
I'm like, oh wow, I'm paying for the premium thing on Netflix.
Yes.
I don't really need the whatever Ultra HD,
Sure.
whatever. Just because I got
Right.
the new TV, I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. So, just it all adds up. And I'm like,
Mm,
geez, there's a lot of money that I just saved just by canceling out all those things. But
right.
yeah, I think I still have some work to do on figuring all this out, but I definitely feel like I'm in a better place now that I know. And I've used, so I'm using, this isn't like a plug or anything, but I'm using, it's called YNAB.
Oh
You,
yeah.
you need a
Okay.
budget. I might have mentioned this when I started using it before.
Yeah.
Um, and it just, helps you kind of track where your money's going. And, they have like this four rules that they give you. It's like give every dollar a job is
Hmm.
their first rule. So it's like figuring out those immediate expenses, and just putting your money to work for you.
Hmm.
What is the second one? Embrace your true expenses. So that's like the weird random, um I don't know, what does it say, like your car, like a car bill that I got,
Hmm.
like figuring out how to budget for those.
Okay. Sure.
What's the next one? Roll with the punches. And then their fourth one is age your money,
Hmm.
to see how long you can get your paycheck to last you, like still have money left over after all of your bills,
Okay.
you
Yeah.
have some left over for whatever it is.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know, it just kind of helps. It's going to help me. I know I already feel better just actually looking through all of this like a
That's
normal
awesome.
adult, going through and looking at where all the money's going.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
Well, good.
it's
Good.
not always a great topic for me, talking about money and budgeting, but trying to.
Money's hard. I mean, they don't really teach us in school. It's one of those things that they should absolutely spend time and effort on
Mhm.
that we just don't get any real education around. And so we go out, and especially if you don't have, like for me, I didn't really have great examples in my life of
Mhm.
how you should use money and how you should save, how you should
Yeah, it
treat
never
your
was talked
credits.
about. It was never
Right.
talked about in my house, so I never really knew. I'm like, I don't. Where does the money come from? How do you? What's going on?
Right. Right.
How are you
And
figuring out what to pay when and where and what?
yeah, yeah. And so then when you don't have those examples, you just kind of go and do whatever. And you're seeing things where it's like you get a credit card, you get a
Oh
credit
yeah.
card, and then you realize after you've maxed it out that you actually have to pay that back.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
lots
it's
of
like the
things like
highest
that.
interest rate there is. And
Totally. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
So a lot of things to learn around that. It's yeah, I mean, I feel like it's better late than never. I know in my case, that's the way that I look at it for sure.
yeah. So I'm sort of looking forward to figuring this all out and really having some money left over, and looking forward to more trips and more
Yes.
time with friends, and having and feeling comfortable about doing those things, like yes,
Right.
I have the money to go hang out with my friends on a Saturday or go on a trip next month or whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You can
whatever
do
is
all
important
those.
to you, that's what you can kind of budget for and figure it out.
Absolutely. And it feels really good when you finally get to do that thing or
Yeah.
get that thing. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like a very fancy beer that you've never had before.
Ooh, nice
Which
segue. What do you got over there?
so I am bringing a beer from France.
Ooh.
It is in my grand tradition. It's a beer that I've never had before,
Hmm.
and it is called, okay, so it's a cider. It's called AVAL, uh, artisanal cider. It's rosé flavored apparently. And here, let me show you uh, there you go.
AVAL.
AVAL, yes, and it's 6%, and it is from, oof, I don't know how you pronounce that. Bretagne, Bretagne. I never took French, so
Nope, I didn't either.
1,000 apologies for any of you that know French and are screaming at your podcast player. But yeah, it is from, it's a naturally gluten-free 100% apple juice cider,
Mm.
and smells great. It smells cidery and a little like it was in some kind of barrel or cask of some
Okay.
sort. And let's see.
Colored with red flush apple It's blended with 6 varieties of apples, strictly from Brittany, France.
Okay.
Rare variety that grows in this beautiful region gives this delicious dry cider an amazing pink color.
Ooh, well, I'm drinking it from the cans. Oh, there. Okay, it is pink. Very nice. Very
What'd you
nice.
think?
It's great. It tastes like apples and olden times.
Oh,
It's like, yeah,
old apple.
it's like so it's like apples, but then it's almost like this woody. I don't know. There's this flavor that I get in some of these that is just like it reminds me of I don't even know, like the cellar in my grandmother's house or like old wood or
Is that like a bad thing though, or is it
no,
like
it's not.
okay?
It's enjoyable. It's different.
It just brings
It
back
is
memories of your
it
grandmother's cellar.
yes, it does.
Does
It
she have
does.
lots of apples hanging out in the cellar, or
No apples whatsoever.
okay?
It was a dank ass cellar,
Okay,
but it reminds me of that, and it reminds me of that old house and kind of like
okay.
old wood, I guess. So I don't know what that is. I'm sure there is a thing that is not old wood that I'm getting in here, but it's fantastic. I like
Nice.
this, and I'm not a big cider fan. Generally,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the ciders that I try are too sweet, too sour, or just not my kind of thing. But it's dry enough. There's a little bit of sweetness, but there's enough dryness to make it really work. So yeah, I like this and I would certainly drink it again.
Nice.
And I will say that looking at the can, I honestly at first glance thought that was a blueberry.
Okay, yeah,
You can see
maybe
this kind
it's a
of
very big
grayish.
blueberry.
Yeah,
Blueberry.
it's grayish and it's upside down. And I don't know, for some reason I thought blueberry.
Blueberry.
And that was honestly
Pink blueberries.
well, yeah, something. I guess now that I read it and I see that it says 100% apple juice, that's the thing with buying beer based on the
The can.
label.
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah,
oh, that one looks
you
like
see,
blueberries.
right. I saw the picture and so I got that. Well, folks, it's not blueberry.
Huh?
So there we go.
It's a nice
What do you have?
surprise. Nice surprise. I have it's called Mystic Amber Ale from O'Fallon Brewery,
Ooh.
St. Louis County, St.
Hey,
Louis
yes.
County, Missouri, Maryland Heights.
Yeah, my hometown.
That's Maryland Heights is your hometown?
St. Louis. St.
I was
Louis
like,
is,
wait,
but
what?
it's right there. Maryland Heights is right there. St. Louis Metro.
Hmm.
Yep.
So for my birthday, someone got me a craft beer club membership. So I'm
Oh,
gonna get a
nice.
few months worth of different beer, and it gives you like a whole little write up about the brewery that it came
Oh,
from. It gives you some food pairings,
I like it.
some trivia. Ooh.
Can you hit us with some of that trivia? Is there anything?
Oh, sure. What is the name of Germany's famous strong beer festival?
Ooh, I don't know. Is it the
No,
no, it's not. It's not the one that you would think.
no,
No. Then I have no idea. What is
Strong
it?
beer festival. I'm gonna butcher German.
For a second there, I thought you were just saying that it was Strong Beer Festival, which would have been
I'm sure
amazing.
that's what this word means. It's
Okay.
Stark Beer Fest.
Okay.
Stark, STARK BIER Fest. Stark, it probably says Strong Beer Fest.
There we go. Stark, strong.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't know any German either. So if you do and you're screaming at your podcast player yet again,
Yes, you're welcome.
there
It
you
says
go.
while Oktoberfest is famously the world's biggest beer festival, Germany is also home to this Strong Beer Fest, which takes place in Munich and lasts for 3 weeks. The strong
Interesting.
beers refer to flavor rather than alcohol content.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So it's although 7.5 to 9.5 ABV beers are the typical range at this festival.
Okay. Well, I mean,
All kinds of ale, stouts, porters, malt beers.
that's enough of an ABV to stick with you, for sure.
But
Nice.
it says in contrast to the lager focused Oktoberfest.
Nice. Interesting. All right. Well,
So
good.
yeah, O'Fallon Brewery Mystic Amber Ale. It's pretty decent.
Sure.
I didn't read the whole story about them. Malt forward amber ale, surprisingly deep, with Cascade and Chinook hops, which are very common. Malty, sweet, subtle, smooth, creamy.
Nice.
Yeah. I have another one. I don't know if I'll use that one on the next one, but it's
Cool.
Dad's original Scotch oatmeal cookie stout. It's too
Oh,
long.
yes. Yeah, that's a lot.
Dad's original Scotch oatmeal cookie stout. Whew.
Huh. Well, there we go.
We got some good beers from O'Fallon from the
Nice.
Craft Beer Club. So go check them out
Yes.
from Missouri.
Cool. Well, that's great. Good stuff. Good stuff. And yes, as always, follow our beer list, the Heavy Conversation beer list on Untapped, which we use like crazy to track our beers. So,
Oh,
yep. So there you
as
go.
always. Oh, we should take a picture. Sorry,
Oh yeah.
everyone.
Oh yeah. Picture time. Here we go.
Gotta
Hey,
change hands.
in my not blueberry beer.
Not blueberry. What? It's bright pink. Oh goodness. All right.
All right. Good. Done and done. So, um, I just finished up an article, well, an interview that went up on Chubster just a few days ago, and it is with a uh, big guy who is a hiker, and his name is AndyNeal, and it was a really cool conversation, with him talking about doing something that not a lot of people expect to see bigger folks doing, that he is he's a hiker, and he's really getting out there, and he's becoming known on Instagram. You can follow him and see his photos and videos at Andy Films and Hikes on Instagram. He also has a podcast called Hiker Podcast.
Oh, nice.
And he lives in Southern Oregon, just, coincidentally, great. He's, not far from us, but he really gets out there and kind of amped up his love of hiking through the pandemic. And it's been really cool it was cool to talk to him and just kind of see where he's coming from and why he got into hiking, and how it is something that he's passionate about, and something that has helped his mental health. And he talks a lot about how he actually started out as he was a pastor for 15 years.
Oh, wow.
And left that and went to film school, and then the pandemic hit, and there was just a whole lot of like hiking that could be done. That was about it.
Yeah.
And nobody was doing much of anything. He and his wife had adopted kids from foster care and kids with special needs. And, he was basically at a point where he kind of was rebooting his life, and the outdoors kind of pulled him in, and so he got out there, he gets out there and he hikes, and he talks about how it's interesting to see people's faces when they see a big guy out there hiking, when it's something they don't expect, and when they see him in places that he's at the top of a hike that had a 3,000-foot elevation gain. He was talking about his first hike and how surprised people were to see him doing it, and just all of these things about what he gets out of it, and why it's important to find those things that you love and do them, because life is short, and it's too short to be unhappy. So it's a long interview, but he had a lot of really great things to say, and you can check it out over at chubster.com. So absolutely take a look at it. It was a real pleasure to get to talk to him and just kind of hear his story and learn a little more about him.
Yeah, I know. I've definitely seen his stuff. I love his little videos when he's like, I'm out on this hike for my mental health. It's just kind of, it's like he doesn't want to necessarily be out here doing it, but it's really helping him with his mental health. And I think he kind of fell in love with doing that, obviously. So yeah,
Definitely.
Got some fun pictures on his Instagram.
Absolutely.
Lots of local places to us anyways.
Yes, and I see that it looks like he in one of his latest posts is getting up on his big fig bed.
Ooh, I got one of those recently too.
Yes,
I,
that was, yeah, my
yeah.
my inelegant way of of getting over to that. So you
Yeah,
got a new bed.
I did. I finally, you go back and forth because it's a big investment getting a bed, and
Mhm.
you spend a lot of time in bed sleeping. So it's kind of an important purchase. Because I um, got my old bed when I moved, so I had to use my really old mattress that I've had forever. That was kind of the spare bedroom bed. So I've been using that for a year, and my body has just been hurting because it has no support left. So I know that you had done a review and talked about Big Fig in the past. So, excuse me. So I finally got one, and it took me a couple weeks for my body to kind of readjust and like get back to probably where it needs to be. But yeah, I've been sleeping already a lot better. My shoulder's not bothering me anymore. My hip is getting better. Yeah,
That's great.
yeah, it's amazing.
Big Fig is interesting because it offers a lot more support and firmness than what you might be used to. I know that when I before we had Big Fig, we had like beds from IKEA, an IKEA mattress,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I decimated that very quickly. I mean, it
yeah,
was
yeah,
very soon after we got it, I was sleeping in a valley and it sucked. And I got the Big Fig mattress, and it's just so like powerful. I was able to actually get up and jump on it. And if you look back through Chubster and search for the Big Fig articles, I did one. They sent one over, and I slept on it for about 3 months, and then wrote about it. And then I wrote a follow-up a year after, just kind of talking about, okay, well, this is what it's like.
yeah,
Is it still holding up? Does it still work? And it absolutely did. I was really impressed, but I will say that I know for me, it took about a month to really
hmm,
get used to the firmness. But once I did, I could never go back to a less firm
yeah,
mattress. And there are a few different companies out there doing mattresses for bigger people. And I still think that Big Fig is right up there at the top. The Satva mattress, Satva, I've been saying it wrong the whole time. And they have a really good one that has a little more of a pillow top on it. But we've got one of those as well, and it's super comfortable. But I think that Big Fig was just a game changer
hmm,
for me
yeah. I
in
know
the
that
quality of sleep.
it's definitely been helping already. The
Yeah.
first couple of weeks I was like, oh my god, I don't know if I can do
Mm,
this. It was like my neck was really jacked up for a little bit, and I was like, I know it's just my body getting used to this new like
right.
support. Like, what is going on right now?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's been amazing. I just
That's awesome.
Yeah, once I fall asleep, I'm done. I don't because I don't wake up like kind of hurting and have to move. Like that would be always be. I'm like, oh my god, my shoulder or
Hmm.
something, it's hurting. And I
Yeah.
feel like, oh my god, I have to turn.
That's the thing, is that when companies make products that work for bigger people, it definitely makes a difference in your quality of life. And you might think it's a little thing, but then you get something like this where you get a bed that
Hmm.
actually supports you and works for you, and it makes a huge difference in a lot of aspects of your life. You get better sleep. Everything else is generally better. So,
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're not sleeping, you're miserable all the time. At least I have been. So
right.
yeah, I got the foundation and the mattress, and it's nice because it's like high up too.
Yes,
I can just like sit down, and then like I'm not like getting up out of bed, like
totally. Yep.
it's so nice. But it was weird. I'm like, oh wow, this is so high. My dog
Yeah.
Bucket is scared to jump up on it though. He's like, it's too high, Dad.
You're gonna have to get some steps.
Well, I put a chair right next to my bed so he can jump up on that. It's like
Oh,
a
okay. Yeah.
but he's getting to be an old man, so he's not as confident in his jumps apparently. So
Sure.
he was
Sure.
just whining the other night. I'm like, you did it earlier. I'm not picking you up every time.
He says one a day. You get
Yeah,
one jump a
you
day.
get one big jump a day.
Well, good.
I mean, I get it, but
Yes. Yes. Well, good. Well, that's awesome. It's good that you've got that. It certainly does make a difference. I would absolutely recommend taking a look at Big Fig mattress
yeah,
if you are tired of sinking into your bed, or if your bed is not giving you the support that you need. Then worth a look.
Yeah. Well, thanks,
Cool.
Bruce.
Yeah, Jody, this is good. This is good. Lots of good stuff.
Budgets.
Beard growth, budgets, beards,
Budgets, beds, beards, and hiking.
and hiking.
Buds on the hikes.
All the good stuff.
All the
so,
good stuff.
yeah, so good. Got a lot to think about, and I guess we'll do this again next week, huh?
Yeah, we'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Heavy Conversation. Be sure to like and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your
Podcast.